half of the bills, and what else does he do? So I just think it depends on the totality of a man. I don't think him paying a certain amount of bills disqualifies him as a man. It's who he is, what he does, what's his character, how is he treating you, why is he only able to pay half of the bills? I think you have to take into account of everything. Do I think a woman that pays half of the bills, still a woman? I mean, it just depends on how you look at, how you're looking at it and what your expectation is.
Wow. Of course. He's providing half.
Is he still, well, the way that he worded it, I took it as in the label provider, like provider for the family. And I said in the comments that technically you're a 50-50, you're a co-provider. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing. That's just what it is. If I'm paying half the bills and you're paying half, then it would not be a true statement for me to call you the provider. We provide together. There are men out there who are just straight up 100% they provide, and in that case, yes, they would be the provider. That was simple to me.
Yeah, because you're still providing half, and then you're not just doing half, like you still have to be there mentally. I can provide, I can wash clothes, I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know how to cut grass, I know how to get dirty with my hands, I can work in a car. So like, not just financially, like I'm gonna provide for you mentally, I provide for you physically. And then we live in a day and age, like you really don't know who's gonna be the sole provider or bringing the most income to be providing financially in the household. It's just like we live in a day and the times to where nowhere in this country, any state, can you pay rent and live on your own off a minimum wage. And then even if you're making above minimum wage, sometimes that's not enough. So, and then you got people who went to college and dropped out, you got college debt. Like, I was watching a video, it was a lady, she said her dad was like taking care of the house and he lost his job. And then her mom stepped up and was paying everything in the house. Paying for the house, paying for her, her daughter and her husband. And she was the only one with a job. Like, you can't do that nowadays. It's not even like realistic. So, and according to these times, like we have to adjust to what we're going through in this country or in the world, period.
Yes, because he's more than just money. He's still your roommate. Of course, y'all are one. Y'all are a team. So he's still gonna be my roommate, even if he's paying half and I'm paying half. Or I think it just depends on the job. So if he's making more, he might have to kick out a little more. Or if I'm paying more, hey, we're in this together. So I'm gonna help you get on your feet. You gonna help me get on my feet. It's kind of like just a team. So yes, he's still my provider. He's still my king. So yeah.
I hate archaic ways of thinking about how economics work in the home. We are in 2019, where you find more women, especially our black women, doing way more stats economically than our men, period. So if we want to look at it from a realistic standpoint, let's flip the question and say, if a woman pays half the bills, does a man feel like he's a man? Because in 2019, that's how I really feel like it needs to be phrased. Okay, off that tangent. So if a man pays half the bills, could he still feel, could he be considered as a provider? Of course. It takes more than money to make a man. And I want to be clear when I say that. Money does not make a man. Your morals, your values, your integrity, your leadership is what qualifies you as a man. Because I have met men that don't have the bank, but are the most greatest leaders ever, the greatest influencers ever. Then I've also seen men and met men that have the bank and are the most scumbags that I think I've ever met, the most inadequate to be representatives of men that I've ever met. So the money is not a distinctive factor of what a man is and a provider is, because you need more than money to provide. What about emotional support? You know, what about spiritual support? I can provide in many more ways, even if I don't have the finances, or even if I do. So yes, money may be a good qualifier, but it's not the only qualifier. So if I'm only able to pay half, and I'm able to check the boxes off on all the other things that qualify me as a man, then that is what makes me a provider. But I literally can't say all I bring is half the bills, and you're gonna respect me as a man. You're a fool. If you're not supportive, if you're not a protector, if you are not a provider or a leader in a sense, your money means nothing. So pay half the bills, man up, and then be respected as a provider.
Yes, he's still considered a provider. And well, it depends on what he's doing, you know, because I mean, a provider doesn't just necessarily mean money. So he can provide in other ways. So long as all that is balanced out, then yes, he would still be considered a provider because it's still 50-50. You know, he's still supposed to be in it together. I have your back, you have my back, so.
Yes, I think men can provide in different ways. And I mean, it's 2019, like let's be real, like it costs too much to breathe on your own, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even feel comfortable, like me just living how I've been living the whole 30, let's just say from 18 to 31, you know, on my own. I wouldn't even feel comfortable with a man paying for everything, you know? So I definitely think he can still be the provider if he's like, hey, let's go 50-50, bet, you know? But I want it to be a situation where I don't have to work, like we're not working 3 and 4 jobs, like just trying to make ends meet. So you got your job, I got my job, we splitting the bills, we flourishing, we thriving, like, yeah, you can provide in other ways, like someone to talk to, just someone to be there, someone to encourage you, to be your cheerleader, your biggest fan. So yeah, men, you can provide. Split that bill 50-50 with them girls.
Of course he's a provider, and that goes for the woman as well. We got to get back to the team unit. You know what I'm saying? We let social media and the entertainment world make us believe that, oh, you have to do this, or you're gonna be my man or my woman, you gotta be this rich, that rich. It's like, no, because we all go through it out here. We all struggle, so we all need, you might have it that day, I might have it that day, you might not. Man, we both might have a little bit to make enough, so it's all about that team effort. So I definitely believe in that, and I think, you know, it doesn't matter who the provider is as long as you guys have that unit.
There is the understanding going around today that men are supposed to be the providers. If a man is a superior man, that means he's a man who has understanding, he knows what his responsibilities are, the structure of being a man. I think a lot of us have lost sight of that today because we have not as many men walking around. We got little boys walking around trying to perpetrate as men. It's more than the understanding of being a man. It's, oh goodness, it's a long list. But yes, I would say so. Why? Because I'm at that point in my life now. That's why I'm not in tune with anybody as much as I would love to be. Because I know for me to be able to maintain a household with a woman, I gotta have the structural sense of these things that woman is asking for. Because if it's just gonna be me, her, and children, that means I have to be stable. And I don't feel like enough of us as black men today are able to be stable. But that's a whole nother discussion. But me personally, my own opinion, I am gonna be that man. I am gonna be that man to take care of a woman and whatever she needs, because I've seen my granddaddy do it. Grandmother didn't have to work for 58 years that they've been married. So I inspire to that, you know, so I've seen him take care of her. She did her part and he did his part. So I'm not gonna throw away that standard. You know what I mean? That's something that's a principle to me almost in a sense. So I'm gonna take what my granddaddy left me to show me, say, son, this is how you take care of your family. I'm gonna take that and make it my own.
If the man pays half the bills, he is providing half for himself. He's not necessarily providing you know, for the household. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong, because, hey, people are in situations, maybe you're not able to pay all the bills, and we're going to split it up and we're going to do what we need to do. But providing to me means if something happens with my situation and I'm not working, you should be able to step up and you should be able to cover things until I'm able to get back to where we were. So, it's what you and that person agree to. I think that's really the most important thing. What you and that person agree to. If y'all agree to splitting the bills and that's cool, then that's what it is. But don't say you the man in this house and I'm providing and I did it and you're just paying half the light bill. Like, that's, to me, that's just your portion. You live here too. Like, of course you need to pay half. Like, is that bad? Oh God.
Men that demand respect but act like boys. And in my mind, because I know where I stand as a man, I'm a real man, thoroughbred through and through. And I don't have a whole lot of things to validate that. I don't drive an expensive car. I don't have the most fancy house. I don't wear expensive jewelry and expensive clothes. All these things that we have been taught what it means to have to make you a man. I don't have all this stuff, but I guarantee you, if you stand me in a room with a group full of men, I'll be pointed out as an authentic man. So what sets me apart from everybody else? And that's what leads me to the question, what makes a man, and why does men who act like boys believe that they're men, especially if they don't exhibit the qualities that I know that I show? They try to demand respect and they literally have nothing to show for it. And then get mad when a woman pull a card and say, oh, you too strong, or you too difficult, or you just don't know how to handle a real man. Little boy, sit down. What are you doing? #ManUp 2019.